The Toronto Maple Leafs appear to have deals in place for two of their key restricted free agents, including Kasperi Kapanen and Andrea Johnsson, and the Vegas Golden Knights are closing in on a long-term extension here for Wild Bill William Karlsson. We'll get into all the details and have a look at their cap situations coming up next. Welcome back here to Top Shelf Hockey. Now we have some more breaking news on some RFA signings, but keep in mind these deals are not 100% official yet. We're led to believe that these are agreements in principle here verbally, but the contracts are not officially signed, sealed, and delivered here to the NHL. But we have no reason to believe that these deals won't end up going through. Some of the stuff's been reported here gradually since last night. Now the Maple Leafs appear to be closing in on contracts for Kasperi Kapanen and Andreas Johnsson. Of course, Johnsson and Kapanen are 2/3 of the trio of RFA forwards, including Mitch Marner, that need new deals this summer and are very important to their team's future. Now Kasperi Kapanen's contract appears to be a 3-year contract around $3.2 million. I think that's a pretty reasonable contract for Kapanen. He's 22 years old. He put up a 20-goal season last year. Obviously, at times, had an opportunity to play in the top six. Played with Matthews for a while during the William Nylander contract holdout. Looked pretty good up there. He's a very versatile forward. Can play top six. He's good on the PK. Obviously, a pretty good goal scorer. So certainly a very key piece to them moving forward. We have heard Kapanen's name kind of mentioned in trade rumors a little bit as well. As we know, the Leafs probably do still need to shed some more salary here after the Marleau trade. That's going to help. And that Patrick Marleau contract being traded is certainly going to help sign these two forwards, but they're likely going to have to continue shedding some other salary. And like I said, Kapanen's been a name that's come up a few times, but it looks as though the preference all along has been to keep him here and get him signed. So I think that's a pretty fair contract for Kapanen. If he can continue to evolve here as a player over the next 2 or 3 years, I can certainly see him getting a longer extension worth more money at that point. So overall, I like this signing here for both the player as well as the team. It's a relatively team-friendly contract here as well. Now in Andreas Johnsson's case, he's a year older. He's 24 years old. Last year was his first full year with the Maple Leafs. He did get into a few games the year before that to kind of get his feet wet. It was a big part of their American Hockey League team as well. But Johnsson also had a 20-goal season, had an excellent rookie campaign, oftentimes played in the top 9, top 6. He's another versatile winger who can kind of play on different lines depending on the given lineup for each night here. So another important piece to their bright future in Toronto. So a couple great signings here by Kyle Dubas. Johnsson's contract is believed to be a 4-year deal at $3.4 million. So obviously these are pretty good contracts here signed by Kyle Dubas. But as we know, he's going to be an incredibly busy GM here over the next couple of weeks. Got all kinds of things to do. I said that's 2/3 of the forward trio, including Mitch Marner, looked after. Now I'm sure the attention is going to focus on Marner here even more. As we know, the free agent window to talk to other teams is opening here already for unrestricted free agents. It opens up for restricted free agents this coming Wednesday, and it is believed that Marner's camp will talk to other teams and see what else is out there should an agreement not be in place by then. And at this point, it looks like it more than likely won't be. Of course, Kyle Dubas kind of set himself a July 1 deadline to get this looked after for a variety of reasons, including to prevent an offer sheet from coming through as well, to make sure that they have a good handle here on their salary cap situation for the rest of the summer, so they know what they're dealing with and what other moves they need to make to fill out the rest of the roster, because obviously there's other things that need to be done. Trading Patrick Marleau was a good start. They're still working on trading Zaitsev as well, which will hopefully come here soon enough, but we'll see who's interested in him. If they can move that contract out, that'll help free up a fair bit of money here as well, but that even still might not be completely enough. They likely have some other deals that they're going to need to work on here as they approach free agency as well. Now jumping over to the Vegas Golden Knights, Wild Bill William Karlsson is closing in on an 8-year max term extension here with the Knights, reportedly valued at $5.9 million annually. I think this is a pretty fair contract. It was important to the player to get the 8 years. That's what the reports are indicating out there, especially from Jesse Granger, who covers the Golden Knights, indicated that the player really wanted to remain in Vegas and really wants to make sure that he get the max term. So of course, Vegas used their leverage to get that AAV down a little bit here. I think 5.9 is certainly a pretty fair value. Of course, Karlsson kind of bounced around the NHL a little bit and didn't really have a whole lot of success until he arrived in Vegas. And his first year was absolutely phenomenal, scoring 40-plus goals. Of course, this year, things were toned down here a little bit. He went from 78 points down to 56. He played on a one-year contract at $5.25 million, and I honestly did feel that the Vegas Golden Knights, to get him signed here, would be closer, to that one-year contract amount rather than the $7 or $8 million that was kind of being discussed a little bit, around last year when he was looking for a new contract as well. I know many places who do contract projections had him making well over $7 on a longer-term extension here as well. But personally, I think this is a pretty fair deal. It kind of balances things out. It gets the term that the player wanted. It gets it closer to the AAV that the team wanted. And I think it's going to be a pretty good contract longer term. Like I said, it's a bit of a raise over last year, and I think that longer term, we're going to see his numbers kind of fall in between what he did in his first 2 years in Vegas, but probably a little closer to what we saw here last year in year two is probably going to be the more likely average numbers for the next number of years for Karlsson in Vegas. So overall, a great signing here, but we'll wait for these contracts to be confirmed. There's lots more RFAs that are still looking for contracts, and there's all kinds of more activity to expect here in the NHL as we approach the free agent period coming here very soon. So, of course, let me know down in the comments what you think of these contracts for these three players. I think they're all really fair deals for both the player and the team, but I'd love to hear your thoughts, and we'll continue the conversation. If you're new to the channel, I hope you consider subscribing. We cover all 31 NHL teams, and there's plenty of content here for all hockey fans to enjoy. So subscribe for more content just like this one. All kinds of action coming up here in the NHL as we approach free agency. So stay tuned. I'll keep you up to date on all the breaking news. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you next time.